Today we are tackling 3 ways to make your home feel lighter, cleaner, and less overwhelming, all using vacuum storage bags. If you've ever felt like your space is closing in on you or like your throw pillows are personally plotting against you, this one's for you. My name's Larissa, and here on the Concussion Crew channel, we share tips and tricks for making life a little bit easier so that you are a little less overwhelmed. Today I'm going to share things I learned the hard way. I'm going to share how vacuum storage bags helped me to clear some of the visual clutter, some of the trip hazards, without the commitment of a permanent decision. Plus, I'm going to do a quick demo with the vacuum and without a vacuum so that you can see how easy it is and if it's worth the investment in those little vacuums for the vacuum storage bags. Because those stupid hand pumps were not worth it, in my opinion. I'm not even going to talk about them. First up, your wardrobe. If you're dealing with decision fatigue or you're getting overwhelmed every time you go to your closet because it's so full and there's so much to look at and choose from, a little temporary decluttering can do wonders. I kept finding myself really frustrated and disappointed every time I looked in my closet. Seeing all of my pretty clothes and my work clothes and my fun outfits was kind of a constant reminder that I was not going back to work anytime soon. I was not going to go hang out with my friends. My day-to-day life was at home or at doctor's appointments. And that visual reminder was really disheartening. So I went through my closet and I put a bunch of my clothes into vacuum storage bags and stuck them under my bed. They were out of sight and out of mind, but in the best way possible. It gave me space to heal without that lingering daily disappointment. Then when I started feeling better, I moved beyond just having tracksuits in my closet and I started adding in a few pieces for if I was going to the grocery store or grabbing coffee with a friend. Some less casual outfits, but again, not everything all at once, which would have been overwhelming again. Then I went a little crazy and I brought out everything and thought, this is fine. I'm doing so much better. I got this. And I realized that I had too much clothes and it was time to scale back a bit. I went through and I decided to keep half of my clothes. But again, I put my clothes into vacuum storage bags and gave myself a little bit of space to see for 6 weeks, is this enough clothing for me? Did I have way too much? Or is a minimalist wardrobe not going to work for me? And I found my happy place in the middle. I pulled out a couple of extra sweaters. I hadn't left myself enough options, and I ended up getting rid of a few of my jeans. But having that grace period where I knew that I hadn't just taken all my clothes to the donation bin, I could pull some extra pieces out, gave me a safety net, and it helped me feel more comfortable with the whole process. So whether you are completely overwhelmed, you've just had a concussion and you need to really pare it down, or you're just a little bit overwhelmed by the clothes in your closet and you need to reduce the amount of clothing you have for a short period of time to see if that feels better, clothes are a great starting point with vacuum storage bags. Next, let's talk about the bedroom, specifically throw pillows and extra cozy blankets that are more for show than for sleep. I love cozy bedding and I like pretty bedding. I have always wanted to do up my bed nicely and have extra pillows and stick a couple of stuffies in there, put a throw blanket at the end of the bed. I love the visual of a made up bed. But when I was dizzy and low energy and in healing mode, all of those extra pillows, all of those extra blankets, all of those extra steps were keeping me from making my bed at all. Why am I going to lean over and expend the energy of picking up all of these pillows just to have to throw them on the floor again? I'm too tired for this nonsense. I'm not going to make my bed at all, was my thought process. And then you have a sloppy looking bedroom, which for me was frustrating and sad. So I packed up a bunch of pillows and blankets into larger size vacuum storage bags, and there was instant relief. All of a sudden, I had less stuff to try to navigate around in the morning, and making my bed took 30 seconds. On my bed, I had my pillow, my stuffy, a sheet, a blanket, and an extra blanket just in case it got too cold. All I had to do was pull up the sheet and the blanket, and my bed was done. It felt good to tick something off my to-do list. It felt good to look at my bed and know that it was made. If you are in a season where you need simplicity, maybe try this. You can always bring the pillows and the blankets out when you have more energy. And most of us know making your bed is important, starts the day off right. It actually boosts your mood and sets the tone for the day. If we know that this is an important step in our day, let's make it as easy as possible to accomplish. When I was talking with my parents about this episode, my mom said, "But I love my bedding." And she has a beautiful bed set with cushions and matching throw pillows and a blanket over the end of her bed. And if that's you, and it takes a lot of energy, but it brings you joy, then you do you. Go for it. Make your bed. Keep the pillows out. I'm not trying to judge anybody and say this is what you should do to conserve your energy, because only you can make decisions about what is worth your energy. And if making your bed with a ton of throw cushions makes you happy, then go for it. Finally, let's talk about all of those extra cushions on your sofa. If you are recovering from an injury or an illness, you're probably spending a lot more time on the sofa. But if your throw pillows are constantly just ending up on the floor, they are a trip hazard waiting to happen. After my car accident, when I had my concussion, they were also just something else for me to puke on. If I didn't get to a bag fast enough, and nobody wants to clean that up. Plus, if you spill something, which I have done more times than I care to think about, cleaning cushions is a lot of hassle. So, into a vacuum storage bag they go. No more visual clutter, no more trip hazards, and no more unnecessary cleaning stress. It's a win-win-win. Now, if you have never used vacuum storage bags before, let me show you how easy it is. If you decide not to purchase one of the vacuums, no worries. No vacuum? No problem. Just seal the bag and press down to push the air out. And then roll or squish as much of the air out as possible. It's not quite as compact as using a vacuum, but it still works really well. As you can see, it's a lot smaller than it was before. It's 2 oversized pillows that are now squashed down. It's easy to do, it's easy to roll it out, it just takes some time, and you don't get quite as much air out as if you used one of these guys. So I'm going to plug this in and we're going to see how much more air we can get out. The little vacuum has a button on the top, so you just plug it in, put the bottom on top of the air spout on the bag, you push the power button, and away you go. The vacuum has made it even flatter, gotten out even more air. I could probably get out more air if I had more patience, but this is good enough for me. It was definitely worth the investment for me, especially because I know that I'm using these bags. I'm swapping out my clothes, I'm putting things into storage. I actually did this to all of my Christmas sweaters and my holiday stuff that I wanted to put away, and it helped create a little more space. There are different size bags. This one is a super large one because it has 2 pillows in it. There are smaller sizes, which I use for my clothes. Make sure you hang on to the little tabs that come with the bags. I feel like there were 1 or 2 per bag in the kit, and they make it really easy to seal up the top of the bag. I'm going to share the Amazon link to the vacuum storage bags and the little vacuum that I used. This is not a partnership. I might earn a small commission on Amazon, which costs you nothing, and I am grateful for your support. But you can get these vacuum storage bags just about anywhere. So there you have it. 3 ways of making your space feel lighter and calmer just by using some vacuum storage bags. If these ideas were helpful, I hope you'll check out the cleaning and organization playlist that we've got, where we share more quick cleans and quick declutters to help you to regain a feeling of control over your space. And please share any tips that you have, ways that you make your home feel more peaceful and clutter-free. Or what's an area of your home that is frustrating and that we could do a little brainstorming and help each other out with. Drop your tips and your questions into the comments. Thank you so much for sticking it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember that you are not alone in trying to make your home feel a little more manageable.